COVID-19 has shifted so many things in our world, but one of the biggest has been in-person events. So let's bring in event planner and organizer Heather Odendaal to talk all about what we can see as we move into this kind of return to socialization in person. Hi.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Well, of course. Okay, so Heather, you've been in the event business for many years, putting together events large and small. When do you really see us going back to in-person events the way it was in 2019?
Yeah, so it's a great question. And I have been starting to see, pockets of smaller events come back to life. So, there's hope around the corner. I'm a wedding planner as well as a conference producer. So weddings are happening kind of smaller groups. We're going to see, people have been in this isolation, or bubbles for a very long time. So it's going to be slow where people actually feel comfortable coming back into kind of an event mode. So I think what we're going to see over the next 6 months, so we're going to see a lot of sort of curated dinners and events with maybe less than 50 people as people kind of get more comfortable. I surveyed some of our members recently and I said, how many of you feel comfortable going back to an in-person event? And less than 50% of people. So a lot of people are not quite ready. Right. So we'll warm up to that. And the other thing is the rollout of the vaccinations. So I'm doing a lot of research and trying to find out right now the best way to, give people confidence to come back to, say, a large gala or to come to a wedding. What are people going to be looking for? And I think that a confident team of professionals that are vaccinated. So, you'll start to look at, event teams that have a fully vaccinated team. So you can actually go with confidence knowing that the organizers have, a vaccinated team. And I think, over the next few months, people will just start to they're going to start to plan, because one of the things I want to get into with you is just how much people want events right now.
Yeah, obviously we're humans. We like human interaction, doing things virtually, though it has gotten us through for right now where some form of normalcy can continue, it's not a replacement for in-person. So the question is if I'm planning a wedding or if I'm planning a charity gala, what as an event planner would you suggest me as the organizer do to try and bring that comfort level that you're talking about? What kind of things are people in the event world doing? Like, are you doing rapid testing at the door? Is that intrusive? Like, what do you suggest?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. So one of the initial things I would recommend any event producer would do is asking your audience and surveying your audience for certain comfort levels. So things that they would be, as an example, I've done this with some of my wedding clients. So I have many weddings that are in the latter part of 2021, and they're still trying to determine whether they're going to go ahead or not. And so finding out a little bit more from your audience or your guests as to their comfort level for certain things is the best step. The other thing I would say is think about, if you have an event with, say, 200 people, think about creating spaces on almost like micro bubbles within that larger event. So as an example, a gala, in the past, you would have to purchase a table to an event, right? So there was options to purchase individual tickets, or there was opportunity to purchase a table. I think we're going to see a lot more of this, purchasing a table behavior, because then you can go to the event or the gala in a bubble and choose to interact at your own comfort level. There's many galas where you go to where you end up sitting at your table for most of the event. And if that's where your comfort level is, then that's great. As far as vaccinations or rapid testing at the door, I think it's going to depend on a couple of factors. I mean, budget is definitely going to be a factor. The cost of me executing a program like that. As an example, I think they are in some of the larger sporting events, they've already started this rapid testing process, and they may have the infrastructure to be able to scale up to do that. Some of the smaller events, we may not have that infrastructure, but I'm waiting with bated breath to see what kind of technology comes down the line to be able to do that for smaller events.
Well, the event world is not going away. There is still, a desire for, as I said, for people to get back into events and back seeing each other in person. Heather, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.